This video is sponsored by Micro Center.
Alright. I just wanted to make sure I'm kind of set for whatever happens.
Yeah. It's January 2021, and I am profoundly nervous. After years of diligence, I have finally, at long last, secured my dream interview, a sit-down chat with Scott Olkers, former president and CEO of Domino's Pizza Japan. After a few reschedules, everything had finally fallen into place. I had booked a ticket and was mere hours away from getting on another flight to Texas in search of answers. And again, I can't overstate how big a deal it was. This man, this Texan businessman, had unwittingly become the de facto mascot for my whole YouTube enterprise. As far as I was concerned, to interview Scott would be to fight the final boss of this YouTube channel. And candidly, I was very close to reaching a major milestone in my subscriber count, and this felt like the perfect way to celebrate. I was happy. But unbeknownst to me, a storm was brewing. A very literal storm.
There's going to be some major problems. Snow will cover the road. It turns to ice by night.
The evening before my flight to Texas, I get an email from American Airlines explaining that winter weather might impact my flight. As luck would have it, it turns out that the Dallas-Fort Worth area is getting its first significant snowfall in years.
We haven't had measurable snow more than 1/4 of an inch in 5 years.
And speaking as a non-Texan, the fact that this was possible was really tough for me to fathom. I mean, snow in Texas? I thought Texas was supposed to be hot. At any rate, the email said that winter weather could impact my flight, so I crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. Just getting snowed out of meeting my hero seemed like a total impossibility, especially in Texas, so I wasn't that worried. And then, of course, disaster struck. My flight, the last flight to Dallas, was canceled. I had already booked the interview spot, the camera person, everything I needed for the Scott interview, and I had to get there by tomorrow morning. And it left me with one choice. Not wanting to be late for my 12 p.m. meeting with Scott, I decided the best solution is to just take the earliest possible flight the next morning. And so, I rebook a ticket to get on a flight to Dallas in search of Olkers. It goes without saying that the night before my flight, I barely slept a wink. Before I know it, it's 4:30 a.m. and I'm on my way to the airport, and soon, after confirming that my new flight hadn't also been canceled, I find myself finally, at long last, hurtling towards Scott himself. I board the plane intending to sleep for the few hours of the flight, but soon enough, my plane is descending on Dallas, and I realize not only have I not slept a wink, I've spent the whole flight wondering what I'm gonna talk to this guy about. I was truthfully pretty anxious, and that led me to another terrifying thought. I realized that I have no real clue how Scott feels about all this. I mean, Mark said that he'd liked it.
I ended up talking to my dad about it, and he said he really loved it.
But did Scott really find my past videos funny? Did he find them unsettling? Did he find them to be both? Was Scott excited about this interview? Was he nervous? Did he hate me? Was he gonna show up at all? Some of these thoughts are more rational than others, but they all sincerely occurred to me as I got closer and closer to the man I'd been looking for. With these thoughts swirling in my mind, the flight seems to go by in an instant. And soon, almost 2 full years after my first trip, I find myself once again arriving in Texas in search of answers.
Make sure I'm kind of set for whatever happens.
Yeah. All right. It is 11:57. Scott gets here at noon. It's all sinking in that this is real. I'm realizing now that we've never even really heard him talk outside of the Domino's commercial and that's pretty much it. So it's gonna be, it'll be surreal, I think. I'm really excited. I have so many questions. I have so many questions that I've had for this man for like literally years.
If you want to go through some of that again, though,
Sure.
I feel like this probably looks a little bit better.
Well, first of all, Scott, thank you so much for making the time to chat about this.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this is a dream come true for me. Can you, I guess, introduce yourself and how people might know you?
Yeah, well, I'm Scott Olkers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scott.
I was involved in the pizza industry. Well, I'm still involved for over 30 years. Back in 2010, I was asked to be the CEO of Domino's Pizza Japan.
I think I saw like there was an interview with you, but I remember reading in that you kind of split your time between here and Japan.
I did. I did 2 weeks there and 2 weeks home.
Wow.
My youngest son, who you met, Mark, was still in high school. And I said, hey, you know, my son's in high school, so I'm not going to uproot the family and move, but I'll commute.
Yeah.
And if that's okay with you, then I'll do it. You know, so the deal was kind of 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. So I travel back and forth from Japan.
So if you had to estimate the number of flights to Japan you've been on,
I have no idea.
it's gotta be, 10 years. How many weeks are there in a year?
You know, I mean, it's a ton. You know, so I have like 7 million miles on American.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and my total mileage is over 13 million.
Oh
if
my
you
gosh.
total all the airline miles.
Wow. It's funny. I have a reputation among my followers as being the guy who goes to Japan a lot, but I think I've maybe been 7 times. So compared to the numbers you're putting up on the scoreboard, that is nothing. I'm still in the single digits.
Yeah, no, it's close to 200 times in my life I've been to Japan.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, talking to Scott et al. Was a treat, but once he started to get a bit more comfortable, and especially when we started talking about the Miku ad, that's when you can see Scott truly begin to light up. So I guess the thing that I know you for, I think, and that many people probably know you for, is the Domino's app featuring Hatsune Miku commercial.
Right.
Which, to this day, I would still say is one of my favorite YouTube videos ever. And I've always been kind of curious, because that video, I think to outsiders, is like maybe a little inscrutable to people who aren't as familiar with Japan or American businesses in Japan and stuff. And so I guess I just wanted to ask how that promotion came about and what you remember from like shooting it and all that.
My part, we shot in maybe 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was right in the office.
Yeah.
No extravagance, you know. We just kind of cleared out the conference room and brought in the lights and mics and
so that
did the shoot. I mean, it might have only been an hour.
Wow. So the white void that we see in that commercial is actually the Domino's Japan HQ. Interesting.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you remember like the Miku video script? Because my brother was asking me about this a few days ago, and I realized that I kind of have the whole video memorized. Do you still remember it?
I don't.
Okay. I believe it goes, "Hello everyone, I'm Scott, president of Domino's Pizza. Have you heard of Hatsune Miku? Today, I'd like to announce a new collaborative project, Domino's app featuring Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku exists in a software called Vocaloid. Vocaloid enables you to produce songs. A character called Hatsune Miku sings the songs you create. I knew that with the talented Domino's Pizza crews from all over Japan."
The only things I remember is what I saw in your video. Yeah, so I don't really remember much.
Was there any improvisation going on the day of the Domino's Miku ad shoot, or was it just stickings to the script and just knocking it out as quickly as possible?
I think more of kind of impressions. I think the tie, like you said, that tie thing, that was not written down. Okay, when the camera goes on, play with your tie. You know, so when it was just something that I did.
Oh, I love that. I love knowing that. That's an iconic piece of cinema history as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the have some fun with Miku.
Yeah.
You know, that I think kind of the expression that I had, that's not something that was written. So it was more about the expressions than, you know, the copy.
Yeah. I mean, like the last but not least, the live performance and like the arm gestures and stuff are iconic, I think, at this point.
That's just me on set. You know, kind of feeling it.
Yeah. I just love the move of pulling out the phone from the shirt pocket and then showing it to camera too.
Yeah, that actually was planned. That piece, that was planned. But
yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
I love the I guess we didn't talk about this, but I think the single most iconic line from the spot is probably the "Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?"
Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?
With like the kind of inquisitive head tilt.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was a Scott
Have you
addition.
heard of?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was your kind of improvisational flair in the moment.
It was. Yeah. All the expressions are just me when the camera turns on. Yeah.
So the script was in English. Who wrote the script for the ad? Do you know?
We were working with ADK, a big agency there. Usually, though, the script would come to my desk, and I'd do some editing because some stuff I didn't like, and then they'd argue that we need it because it's wacky and RA, and then it was a little bit of back and forth.
Well, it's interesting to know that it was written externally because I always got the impression watching the commercial, it kind of felt like watching a native English speaker read an English script that wasn't necessarily written by a native English speaker and kind of had this like cadence that felt almost translated in a way. And so maybe on some level that was correct.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's exactly correct. But that's what makes it, you know, wacky. That's why the foreigners, you know, Advertising Age and these other, you know, marketing experts, you know, look down on that because they think it's too weird. But that's the intent. The intent is to be weird. I actually get criticized. If you read the internet, like if you read Ad Age and some of these other guys, they'll criticize me for how crazy and stupid some of this stuff was. But what they don't get is, if you watch Japanese variety shows, they're a little wacky, right? Everything is out there, you know. So when you look at that compared to what we did in these various promotions, it's not that far out.
I think that's like maybe a common misunderstanding is I've seen the sentiment of the Miku ad of, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's being forced at gunpoint to talk about Hatsune Miku. And the reality was, A, you definitely knew who Miku was and what Vocaloid was, but also the goofiness was by design, right?
By design.
Totally.
I mean, if you know me, if you really knew me, it's like, that's not really me, but if we wanted to be in that kind of wacky place, right?
Yeah.
That would attract Japanese consumers.
And you kind of already had experience, I guess, with the Taiwan spots.
I've been in over 40 ads in Taiwan.
Wow.
And we leveraged all these different creatives. We tried to leverage pop culture. We did a big one with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular ad took 36 hours to film. You know, you're filming 30-second ad.
You do like wire work in that ad, I'm pretty sure.
On the top of bamboo, right?
How was that done?
Hey, you're strung on wires and
they really did that to you?
Yeah, flying through the air. Yeah. It was hard work. It was really hard work. And it just kind of went on and on, you know, because you do it, and then if your expression's not right, or if you don't say the line just right, it's like, you know, do it again. And the production crew wasn't particularly well organized, which gets frustrating.
But man, all that work for a 0.7 second shot of you like moving across the background.
That's right. Yeah.
You basically were making a scene from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I was, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But in the end product was quite good.
Oh yeah. Oh, also, I think Mark mentioned to me that you have in your home like a poster or something from maybe one of the Taiwan campaigns or something.
Yeah, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Nice.
I have a framed poster from the agency.
Oh, that's incredible. Any Miku stuff in the house?
There's not. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you like a figure or something. We'll get you equipped.
I don't have any Miku stuff.
Now, Scott, being fluent in Mandarin Chinese, was also able to help illuminate one of the more confusing of the Taiwanese commercials, this one.
The name of the brand, Domino, is Domino's in Chinese. And if you invert those sounds, Dalame, it means have you called.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Dame la dalame, Domino's have you called. So it was a play on words. And then the other thing we did was the phone number. Which is the phone number, 882-5252. But it also means, hungry, daddy hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. One time I was in the top 10 most recognizable foreigners in Taiwan.
Wow.
In the China Times.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
that's...
I couldn't walk down the street.
What kind of things would people say when they'd see you?
No, they'd see me and they'd say the, Dame la dalame, they'd recite the phone number, so it got kind of crazy, but
yeah. I mean, on the one hand,
now I'm older and I used to have a mustache, now I have a mustache anymore, so people don't recognize me
You're
anymore,
safe.
But yeah, and it's been a long time since I was on TV there, but
yeah. You've led what must be one of the most interesting lives of anybody I've ever met, I think.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun life, yeah.
Scott and I chatted for over an hour, and we discussed so many things from the intricacies of making the Miku ad to how retirement's been treating him. And if you want to watch the full 70-minute video, I've made this full uncut interview available as a bonus video for my channel members. So if you click the join button underneath this video, you can watch the interview uncut in its entirety. One of the moments that struck me most looking back on this interview was the way Scott talked about his employees in Domino's Japan.
My fondest memories there are working with the guys in the stores, the store people. Also, I think, the biggest sense of accomplishment is when I first got there, all of the stores were corporate owned by the company. Shortly after I got there, we started to allow sub-franchising to our previous store managers. So you had to have been a manager, which is kind of the Domino's way in America, going way back, 60 years ago. And so a lot of the guys that had worked for us are now franchisees for us and are successful with their own business. So that's a great sense of accomplishment, to help kind of get them ready, and then to watch them succeed, watching them progress in their careers. I think that's where you get your greatest sense of fulfillment. More so than your own achievements. Watching those that work for you achieve is really important. And then just like I told you, I visited stores 2,400 times, and just being in the stores, being with the the young Japanese folks, feeling their energy and excitement. It's just great memories for me. And they very warm to me when I show up. It's great. I've been really blessed in my life. I never really felt like I was going to work. It's always been fun. There's hard days, but it was always fun. And working in Japan is, a privilege, and I really enjoyed it. And I miss it. But it's just great to have to do something that you love and work with people that you love, and it's,
I totally agree. I think I sort of feel like I have found my equivalent of being the CEO of Domino's Pizza Japan. The way that job was fulfilling to you, I think that getting to talk about things like this for people who seem interested in it is, I find that, I think, equally fulfilling.
Yeah.
It is definitely a blessing to find something you love and get to do it for work.
Yeah, if you can, when you get out of bed, you're excited to go to work, that's great. Even now, I'm not working full time anymore, but the things that I do, I love to do, so.
If you're one of the people who watched my initial Domino's Miku documentary from back in 2018, you might remember the moment where I reflect on the flowers found in the Domino's Japan HQ lobby after Scott's retirement. I ended that video by speculating about how beloved Scott must have been by his Domino's Japan employees to have warranted such a beautiful reception. Having now finally met and spoken with the man himself, it's clear to me that Scott was a great boss. A man who was truly, sincerely beloved by Domino's Japan employees. They loved him, they knew him by name, they got excited when he came to visit their branch. In his long tenure as the CEO and president of Domino's Pizza Japan, Scott touched thousands of lives. Not just touched, but actually changed them for the better. And at the same time, halfway around the world, Scott changed my life too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for 1 million subscribers, obviously. Yeah. Thanks so much. This has been a multi-year journey. One of the hardest secrets to keep I've ever had to sit on for a video. I'm so glad that this is now out. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is to click the join button underneath this video. You get access to over a dozen bonus features, commentary tracks, extra videos, deleted scenes, and of course, my full uncut interview with Scott, former president of Domino's Pizza Japan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye! So I don't know if you've heard, but we're currently in the throes of a major chip shortage. It's the reason PlayStation 5s are perpetually out of stock, and why it's harder than ever to get your hands on a new CPU. Now, my buddy Ryan, who you might remember from some of my recent Twitch streams, knows this issue firsthand. He's currently in the middle of building a new computer, and after getting frustrated trying to source the CPU online, he found that the exact one he was looking for, the Ryzen 9 5900X, was available by this video's sponsor, Micro Center, in person at our local Micro Center location. Not only that, Micro Center was actually selling this Ryzen CPU under the suggested retail price, so not only was it available, it was also a really good deal. Of course, that's not all Micro Center has to offer. They've also got everything you'd ever need to spec out the ideal gaming PC for your budget. So keyboards, monitors, mice, networking equipment, you name it. If you find something you like, you can order it online, or you can add it to your cart and arrange for same-day in-store pickup at any of their 25 locations nationwide. Or if you'd prefer, you can have Micro Center's technicians expertly assemble your new PC for you. If that's not enough, here's a special bonus. Brand new Micro Center customers can visit any Micro Center location and get a free 240 gig SSD. Simply click the link in the description of this video and enter your email address, and you'll be sent a unique coupon code for the offer, available for a limited time only, offer valid only in store. Thanks again to Micro Center for sponsoring this video.